Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'm not feeling totally myself right now, as you can see from my hair. But, yeah, so I feel like I'm still in this weird, like, ascending to my higher consciousness phase. So I'm kind of a little discombobulated. That being said, let's just roll into this, okay? One of the reasons I mentioned that is because I already pulled these and I had to read this ahead of time, like literally just finished reading this so that I could talk about it with, a sense of purpose and understanding. So I'm not just kind of falling all over the place on this. But anyways, hold on one second. I just need to change that so I can see the time. And so a bunch of these flew out this morning, but this is the Thoughtful Cards deck, and I really love it. Baby sibling gave it to me. Again, I don't know if she realized what she was giving up, but it's pretty awesome. Good morning, Eileen. So, hate never yet dispelled hate. Only love dispels hate. Buddha. Quit being a hater. Simple. Quit being a hater. It's that simple. But hate never dispelled hate. Only love dispels hate. And quit being a hater. It's that simple. So there you go. There you go. Good morning, older sibling. Oh, we had this one last week. You're a soul living in a flesh temple made of stardust, riding a rock through space. Don't sweat the small stuff. You're pure magic and mystery. You're pure magic and mystery. The only illusion of death is that it is an ending. Live as if your choices will always matter. Live as if your choices will always matter. Your choices do always matter, good and bad. Let your fears be your fuel. Chaos is the alchemical path to life. Forge your own reality now. Ooh, that's a new one. We haven't seen that one yet. Let your fears be your fuel. Chaos is the alchemical path to life. Forge your own reality now. We talked about this last week with that quote that I said from an actor that says, feel the fear, give it a little home, and then do it anyways, right? And it's a great quote. It is really, really a great quote. And I just saw somebody that I follow on Twitter, not the person themselves, but somebody else posted it. And it was just, it just kind of hits you between the eyes, right? I mean, I don't know what the context of it was, but it really does kind of fuel that whole life path, right? Give it a little, feel the fear, give it a little home, and then do it anyway, But in this case, I'm going to say not just really give it a little home, give it a couch to sleep on. And then boot it, boot it out the door, because you don't want to hold on to that fear too long. Otherwise it's going to grow and it's going to build and it's going to fester. And some people are able to give it a little home and then do it anyways. Some of us just overthink it and then it overstays its welcome. So, you have to see it for what it is, the quote itself, because I love it. I love it. It's a great one. I actually have it on my computer, on my desktop, because it, floating through with all the other collagey things that come on my background. But it always seems to pop up when I'm just kind of overthinking things. So there you go. So let's see, the last one. Oh, this is more of a visual. Ever expansive, infinitely deep. Ever expansive and infinitely deep. So this is a little bit of a visual one. That's the universe, and there's you all over it, right? You, and you all over it. So again, ever expansive and infinitely deep. You are an infinitely deep soul and person if you allow yourself to be. I think sometimes I was going to say oversimplify, but I don't think we oversimplify. I think we underestimate ourselves. And we don't really give ourselves the kudos and the attaboys that, or attagirl that we deserve. And Eileen said, happy cold and rainy Monday. I am loving it, girl. I am loving this rain so much. I'm just going to give you a little side thing. I know I just kind of changed the subject there, but this is what I mean, guys, when I was talking about at the very, very beginning. I am so discombobulated right now. And not in a bad way. I just feel like my entire soul is just finally settling into who it needs to be. And I know I've said this before, but I think it really happens in stages. I think if it didn't, we'd be like those little cartoon birds that like inhale and pop. I said cartoon birds. I'm not sure if it happens in real life. I don't want to see it if it does. But, oh, and that's funny because there's birds on the card. I didn't even realize that until right now. There's little birdies on the card. But, you know, the funny thing about our weather is Orange County, where I live, is kind of surrounded by mountains or hills and mountains. So LA, the Inland Empire, and San Diego, they'll always get all this amazing rain, and we'll hear about it, and then we get nothing. And I'm like spitting distance from Los Angeles, so you would think that it would sneak in. So the fact that we've gotten rain 2 days in a row is just like, I'm so happy. I am so excited. I can't even tell you. All right, so we're on card number 7. Ugh. Here we go. Let me try that again. We're on card number 17 of getting into the vortex / self-awareness. So remember, I'll give the spiel like I always do. I'm trying to only keep it on Monday now. So if you want to know the spiel, you got to listen on Mondays. The vortex is basically the core of your self-awareness. All right. It's where all these things come from. If you want, it can be like your heart. It's the heart of your soul. Okay, and this is what they're talking about, getting back into the vortex, which is getting back into you, getting back into the deepest parts of you, so that, you know, we can pluck out all the bad things. You know, I don't want to say weeds, because not all weeds are bad. Some weeds are actually flowers that are very, very pretty. So we just want to pluck out all the dead things, right? All the things that don't work for us, all the things that we should have left behind a long time ago, put it out at the curb, let the recycle people take it away, let the trash people take it away, whatever you want to do. But just get it up and out. I mean, get this crap up and out. And, you know, I think, I really think I'm being guided in this conversation because I literally said roots, but I just saw the roots. So I think these little thoughts are being planted in my head so that, you know, I make sense while my brain is not making sense to me. And so when I say my brain is a little discombobulated, like I said, it's just, I'm moving through this, like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not sure if transcendiary is a word. I feel like it is, but this is what I'm saying. My brain is just shut off and not working. It's like on backup power, you know, like the generator kicked on, but it's not at full capacity. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that whatever, like this, it's like this in, you know, the spiritual type of thought process, the metaphysical type of process. This is what they would call an ascension. And an ascension doesn't necessarily mean you're dead and you're ascending like Jesus and Mary and all those other people. What it means is that your spirit, your soul is healing and it's moving, it's upgrading itself. You know, think of it as like a computer, right? I mean, my computer, my Windows that I originally bought with this laptop like 9 years ago, is going to be obsolete, believe it or not, on my birthday. It is going obsolete on my birthday. So it's dying as I hit a new decade, but it's like, great. So that's one thing I have to think about and upgrade. But as we all know, upgrades are a process. Upgrades take time. You have to find the right thing that works for it. You have to find the right footing for it. You have to make sure there's everything in place for it. So, you know, that you have enough speed and memory and RAM and all that other stuff. So that's kind of where my brain is at. And I don't want to really say my brain. I think that's kind of where my whole soul is. And normally when I do these perspectives, I'm going from the soul, you know, but right now I'm having to wing it on my brain. And my brain is just, it's out to lunch, but out to brunch, breakfast, lunch, whatever. So anyways, let's just get rolling. This is a good card, by the way. So if you're listening, I really want you to pay attention to this because, again, getting into self-awareness, getting into the vortex, it's all about getting into the deepest parts of you. And again, this is part of the spiel that I'm going to do on Mondays. We laid that foundation of self-love. We spent 30 lessons building that house of self-love, building that cozy cottage, house, castle, whatever you want to call it. This is us decorating it. This is us making it inviting, furnishing it with all of these wonderful, beautiful things and attracting the right things into it. When you have a very healthy self-love, your vibration changes. And that's what all these cards are about. It's about the vibration. It's going to refer to the law of attraction quite often. And as I've said a million times before, since we started the vortex cards or the self-awareness cards, You may not believe in the law of attraction, but it believes in you. It's as simple as that. Because the vibration you put out there is what you're going to get back. And this is a big one. By default, I could have attracted unwanted relationships. By default, I could have attracted unwanted relationships. Now, before I read the back, okay, by default, I could have attracted unwanted relationships. Before I read the backside, this doesn't just mean romantic relationships. It could be friendships. It could be coworkerships. It could be partnerships in business. It could be all different kinds of things. This is a generalized term when it says relationships. But what hit me square in the head, especially around the holidays, is the romantic type of relationships. But I just want everyone to know that when I read this, I may zero in on one thing over another, but this really goes across the board. It really goes across the board. So, many of the relationships or experiences you have attracted, you would not have deliberately attracted if you had been doing it on purpose, but much of your attraction is not done by deliberate intent, but rather by default. It is important to understand that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not, and chronic thoughts about unwanted things invite or ask for matching experiences. The law of attraction makes it so. All right, so one more time. Many of the relationships or experiences you have attracted, you would not have deliberately attracted if you had been doing it on purpose. But much of your attraction is not done by deliberate intent, but rather by default. It is important to understand that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. And chronic thoughts about unwanted things invite or ask for matching experiences. The law of attraction makes it so. So, that's been my favorite word in journaling lately. So, comma. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, don't you? But one of the reasons I said I can dive deep into the relationship part is think about all the times when I've joked about being single, or all the times that, I've said this, that, or the other. And, that's what I'm attracting. Because like I said, even though I firmly believe there's somebody out there for me now, for a long time in the back of my head, I would say these things out loud, but in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, no, I'm undesirable. I'm unwanted. I'm this, that, or the other. We're not. We're all amazing human beings. And I think that's what we really, really need to zero in on, is to stop putting ourselves down, to stop thinking we're not good enough, to stop, you know what? You may not be good enough for one person, and by that I mean you may not be good enough to one person in their eyes. But then somebody may come right along and sweep you off your feet, and you're going to be like, whoa, where's this person been all my life? And you're going to be surprised. Because, you finally realize, you know what? That's it. I just want someone who's going to love me for me. Or I just want someone who's going to appreciate for me. Or I just want someone to work with me that's going to work with me and listen to my ideas and do all the, all this stuff. Like where I can work with this person as a team, not a team where they're telling me what to do and not listening to any of my ideas. Those are the kind of things that we have to work on putting our vibration out there for. And there are a lot of times when it's hard, when pessimism really sets in hard. And I know the holidays are no different. I know there's people out there who are going to be going home for the holidays. And they even joked about it in a commercial, right? And I can't remember what the commercial was for, but I think it was a cell phone commercial. But, where she walks in and like one of the grandmas says, "Oh, still single, huh?" And it's just like, my family fortunately has stopped that a long time ago. It's just like, you know what? Enough. But I guess my point is that we can't always stop what other people are going to think. How we react to it is key. How we react to it. And we do that sometimes. Maybe we have to take a deep breath. People can be unintentionally snarky. Like maybe they think, oh, but you're so this, that, or the other. You should have found someone. We don't live by those rules anymore. We don't live by those rules of 60 or 70 years ago. People are far more independent nowadays. People are, I don't want to say self-serving, because some people say, oh, well, they're just self-serving. No, people are discovering themselves. People are seeing what they're made of. And people might be starting their lives later than they did 50, 60, 70 years ago. What they did back then is okay. That suited them. And some people still do that now. Some people start their lives very young together, or start the careers very young, or know exactly what they want to be when they're children. And that's great. But not everybody is there, and we can't judge everybody by what we think or where we think they should be. Everybody's an individual. So, if you are one of these people that makes the unintentionally snarky comments, just stop. Just stop. Let them be who they're going to be. Because you don't know what they're going through inside. You don't know how damaged they could be, or maybe how free they are, or maybe they just enjoy living the life they're living. Attached or not attached to something or someone. Maybe they work super hard because they really love what they do. And, if you are that person, make sure that when you are working, because it is something you truly, truly love to do, make sure that it's not because you're ignoring the rest of your life. I know people who just give every moment of their life to their job because they absolutely 100% love it. It is their brainchild, their baby, their pet, whatever you want to call it. But I also don't want the people who might be throwing themselves into something because they're ignoring something else to miss out on a life they can have because they're afraid to face what they don't want to face. I spent a lot of time ignoring what I didn't want to see. And most of that was my healing. Most of that was being in a place where I couldn't move forward because I didn't have that power within me, that strength within me. I had it, I should say. It was dormant, like a volcano. Vesuvius has exploded. But what I'm saying is, when they talk about this with your relationships, be careful what you put out there. If you are sitting there saying, I can't believe that I found this, that, or the other, that's understandable. You're venting, you're feeling your feelings. But when you sit there and say, why do I always attract yada, 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 you're putting it out there. The universe is saying, is that what you want? Okay. It's not going to hear, why do I? It's saying, I attract blah, blah, blah. Because it's the vibration you're putting out. If you're sitting there and you're complaining about all the horrible things that are happening in your life, you are attracting more of it. And this card is really kind of throwing that at you in so many ways. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you saw my face. Baby Bear is on. Happy birthday, Baby Bear. I hope you got my text message and my voice message. Happy birthday. I'm not going to say, because, a lady never tells her age unless they want to. But I wanted to personally wish her a happy birthday. So, I was hoping you'd come on so I could actually say it to you. But anyways, so I'm going to read this one more time, and then I'm going to cover it one last time, and then I'm going to get going, okay? Because again, my brain is just... By default, I could have attracted unwanted relationships. Many of the relationships or experiences you have attracted, you would not have deliberately attracted if you had been doing it on purpose. But much of your attraction is not done by deliberate intent, but rather by default. It is important to understand that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not, and chronic thoughts about unwanted things invite or ask for matching experiences. The law of attraction makes it so. I made you wink. Good. Mission accomplished. So anyways, one last time. Be careful the vibration you put out there. When we hold on to things too long, okay, and I speak from experience. When we hold on to things for too long, they fester, they grow, they take root, and they start to grow a garden of negative things that you don't want. So again, there are ways you can do that if you put something out there, like again, for instance, when we were talking about why do I always attract the blah, blah, blahs? Well, just say, but you can even say it in your head if you don't want to say it out, but I do not wish to manifest that into reality. Not again. Just say, flip the narrative. Why can't I attract, or, I would like to attract this, and this kind of person. See, for every negative thing we say, there's a positive way to put it while you're still venting. Right? You could be venting, blah, blah. I always find these people that treat me like dirt. Instead of saying that, you could say, I'd really like to attract the kind of people that, treat me as well as I treat them. That, see me. That, appreciate me. So see, there's always a way to flip that narrative. We don't always have to be so negative. I know it's hard. I saw something where somebody said there's no such thing as positive or negative thoughts. I think that's what it said. But I disagree. I mean, it is perception. So they're not wrong. But for me, there are positive and negative thoughts. And, but everybody's journey is different. For me, the only reason I know there's negative and positive thoughts is because I've been there. I've sat in these gardens where it's just like, why can't I have a pretty garden to sit in? Well, because I'm sitting here putting all this bullshit out there that doesn't make any sense. And I'm just drawing it all to me. And like I said, there are a lot of people out there that don't believe in the law of attraction, but the law of attraction is real. And even if you don't believe in it, like I said, I'm stealing this right from Constantine, right? From the movie Constantine. It believes in you. And it is a universal law. And for those of you who don't believe, think about all the times you've complained and complained and complained about something, and it just kept happening over and over and over again. And then maybe something great happened. You're all, wow, this is amazing. And you're riding that high of that vibration, and all these good things start happening. Things come in waves because of our thought process. If you constantly try to keep yourself in a place on that steady wave, you're going to find a balance. That doesn't mean bad things aren't going to happen, but how you react to them will keep it from continuing to snowball into something bigger and bigger and bigger until you hit so far bottom that the only way up is thinking positively or trying to turn everything around. I have hit bottom so many times, and I've kept digging on some of those occasions when I've hit bottom. And when you keep digging, you make it harder and harder and harder to find your way back up, to find your way out. This is when it's okay to ask for help. This is when it's okay to say, hey, you know what, can someone throw me a rope? We don't always have to do things alone. Reaching out and talking to people that we trust or care about, or even reaching out to a therapist and getting professional help, that's your choice. All right. It can be a game changer. It can be a life changer. And remember, if you accidentally do put something negative out there, the magic words, I do not wish to manifest this into reality. Whether you were praying, whether you were setting an intention, or whether you were manifesting something, if you do not put the right vibration behind it, it is not going to happen. If you are constantly worried about something, but you're wishing it hard for something else, it's like I've said about that TV show I told you I watched. One girl was praying from a place of desperation, but she didn't realize she was praying from a place of desperation. She just thought, I'm putting this out there, please hear me, blah, blah, blah. And of course something happened, but it still wasn't the result she was looking for. But it was a start. It was a step. However, you have this other person that prays from a place of trust and faith and believing, and they're like, bam. They were getting everything they asked for. So remember, gratitude is a big thing. Gratitude is basically the law of attraction. When you gratitude something, you're saying to the powers that be, your higher source, the universe, whoever you lean into spiritually, you were saying to them, I trust, I believe, and I have faith that you are going to bring this to me. Even while my world may be falling apart around me, I am putting my trust in you, my faith in you, my belief in you to make this happen for me in the way that is suited for me. To bring me what was meant for me, or what is meant for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, or amen. Or you can do both. I do both. Amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't want to be rude, right? I mean, amen is like the period on a prayer, but I also want to be thankful. And sometimes I was reading in a book about prayers. They said sometimes you can ask for it like it's already been delivered. Like, dear higher power, dear God, thank you for bringing me this, this, and this. And even if you don't have it yet, you're saying to God, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready. So thank you for bringing this to me. I'll be waiting. It's like ordering a package online, right? Or ordering something online and it arrives. It doesn't, and I don't mean Amazon, okay? Because Amazon, you kind of have an idea when it's going to arrive. But say you order something in the mail. Well, you don't know when it's going to get to you, right? I ordered something the other day and I have no idea when it's going to arrive. But it's always fun when it does, because you're like, ooh, okay, here it is. So let's think about that, okay? Be careful of your vibration. Be careful what you put out there. Sometimes we let fear slip in and we let it stay far too long. And for those of you who are like me, whether you are an overthinker or like me, and a recovering overthinker, it can be dangerous because you're going to keep bringing things in. And depending on the state of your mental health, when you constantly put out the bad things, you're constantly going to get that back. And there are people out there who struggle with that, with their mental health. I don't mean to make light of my mental health, and I'm not really trying to, so I don't want this to come off wrong, but I'm very grateful of my own personal diagnosis. Not because I'm diagnosed with a dinged up mental health, but because I have seen the other spokes of the umbrella. I know people who fall under the other spokes of this mental health umbrella, and I'm not sure I would still be here today if I had to deal with some of the things mentally that they've had to deal with. There's some pretty strong people. They don't feel like they are. But the fact that they wake up and, take steps forward every single day is huge. I don't have to, they're dealing with their mental health every single day. I check in with myself every day. I see how I'm doing. But I don't have to focus on it every single day. And for that, I'm grateful for my own personal diagnosis, that it could have been worse. And I'm grateful that it's not. So be grateful for what you have. Maybe take the time today. It's Monday. If you're at work, be grateful that you're at work. If it's raining, be grateful that the reservoirs are filling up. Because in California, we got some problems with the drought. But, don't worry about your traffic. Don't worry about you. Just be grateful you have a reason to sit in traffic. Not all of us are there yet. Be grateful you have a car. Be grateful you don't have to travel on, public transportation, not because of public transportation, but because it takes so long sometimes, depending on where you are. There are some cities that got this shit down. I mean, wow. I'm telling you, London blew my mind. And I didn't really get to experience much of the transit system in New York because I wasn't there that long. But seriously, I'm like, dang, they got this down. But in places like where I live, we don't have necessarily like trains and this and that. We have trains that leave the county, but we don't have like a smaller transit system. We just have buses. And sometimes the buses are not always a direct route. So if you have a car, be grateful for that. Because there are people sitting on a bus from early in the morning to late at night just trying to get to and from to do their job. And some of them choose it. And maybe some of them don't have a choice because maybe their car's not working. I don't know. Whatever the reason is, I've been a bus person and not always easy. But boy, I tell you, every time I get behind the wheel of a car, there's a part of me that just clicks and says, wow, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful I can do this and that I have this. And because it does make my life easier. So be kind to yourself, and here's the thing, even if you are traveling on public transit, which personally sometimes I really love, it's nice to not have to drive. Be grateful for that. Be grateful that you're safe and warm in something, taking you from point A to point B. If you have a house, a roof over your head, be grateful for that. Be grateful for your electricity. Be grateful for the fact that you can watch the show on whatever it is you're watching, because that's technology. But it also means that you have the equipment to do this on. So just be grateful. Gratitude can change your attitude, period. And again, I speak from very extreme experience. I have struggled with all of these things. I have not always been the kindest person. I'm not a mean person. But when I was going through my healing journey, there were times when I would just get so overwhelmed because I wouldn't reach out that I would explode like Mount Vesuvius. And everybody around me was affected by it. And I'm not proud of that behavior. But I share it because I know that by bottling up my pain, this is what happened. People find ways to be angry when they're holding in anger or pain. And that's not all people. Some people are just assholes. But for those of you who understand that and who it resonates with, it's okay to reach out. It's okay to start your healing. If you're not ready to reach out to someone, get a notebook. Just a cheap old $1.50 notebook from the grocery store. Get a pen, pencil, whatever you can write with, a crayon. And just start writing. Just start writing. Because sometimes that's what it takes to get all this crap out of us. It's like weeding out the garden of your soul. And don't weed out the pretty things. Just weed out the stuff that kills the other things. You know? So, all right. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Be careful what vibration you're putting out there if you're trying to attract some sort of relationship. Again, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether you're fixing a relationship, whether it's a work relationship, a friendship, whatever. Gratitude it. If things don't feel right, keep gratituding it as it gets better. And as it gets better, try to let go of the anger of the past. You know, I did something very big for myself last Thursday. I think it was last Thursday. Yeah, last Thursday. And I went to a place that has kind of haunted me for a while. And I wasn't sure how I would feel there. But I found peace. I found peace. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't hurt anymore. I wasn't sad anymore. I wasn't mad anymore. I was in a state of complete peace. And I realized I can't hold on to that anger and that pain anymore, because now it's just holding on to it like it's something like something comfortable, right? It's like your balloon deflated, but it's still wrapped around your wrist and you don't want to let it go because it's been there for that long. It's time to cut the string and let the anger go. Okay? So, and again, I speak from experience on that. So, again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a great Monday. Michelle, if you're still on, girl, go out and have a fabulous, fabulous birthday. Just do nice things for yourself. Go treat yourself. Have lunch or get your nails done or whatever it is that brings you joy. Meditate. Just go out there and have fun. This is your birthday. And, birthdays are meant to be celebrated. All right. I wish I was there with you. We'd go out and do something spectacular and fun. So have a great day, everybody. Have a happy Monday. It's the beginning of the week. You get to make this week as you want it. I think this is the perfect card for the beginning of a week. Use it to your advantage. Put out the vibrations for the kind of week you want to come and remind yourself of it. Visit it every morning. Give it some thought. And then keep going. And then see how each day starts to progress. If bad things are trying to happen, just say, you know what? No, I'm out. Just say, I'm so happy and grateful that all good things are coming to me. All right. So again, tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook Live. All lives are public. Everybody is able to watch it. I also upload these to YouTube under the Aloha Perspective. I share it to my Facebook page, the Aloha Perspective, and it also goes up on Twitter. If you have TikTok, I am there under the Aloha Perspective. I basically just read the card and say, do it. And then I'm done and I upload it to Instagram. All right. So again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. She says, I will make it a great day. I'm very proud of you. I love you. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. I am just so full of love right now. Even as discombobulated as my brain is, that's coming from my heart and my soul. Even if I don't know you. Okay. Because I know that if you stuck through this long, it means that you really want to move forward in the right direction. All right. But as for the people I do know that's on my life, I love all of you. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.